What shocking discovery left you completely broken? My husband Michael took his own life 10 years ago. I remember everything about that day. The knock on the door, the officer's face, the way my legs gave out before I could even speak. Since then, every year on my birthday, a bouquet of white roses, my favorite flower, has showed up on my doorstep. 12 perfect blooms, always tied with a silk ribbon, always with a little card that just said, "Forever, Michael." It became this quiet ritual. I'd open the door, take the flowers inside, put them in the same crystal vase we got as a wedding gift and sit with them. I'd talk to him sometimes, thank him, cry a little, then I'd go about my day. But this year, on my 62nd birthday, they didn't come. At first, I tried to stay calm. I told myself maybe the delivery guy was just late, maybe they got the date wrong. But as the hours passed, I started pacing. I must have opened the door 20 times. By sunset, I was still in my robe, hair half brushed, just staring out the window like he might show up himself. That night, I barely slept. The house felt heavier than usual, quiet in a way that wasn't peaceful. The next morning, I walked down to the florist shop. It was this little corner place tucked between a bakery and a hardware store. When I walked in, the smell hit me first. Lavender and eucalyptus, same as always. But behind the counter wasn't the older man who used to run the place. Instead, there was a woman, maybe late 20s, with a kind face and paint on her jeans. She introduced herself as Sophia, said her dad had passed a few months ago and she was keeping the shop going in his honor. I asked her about the white roses. I told her they came every year, always from here, always for my birthday. I asked if maybe there was a mistake. She looked through the files, checked the computer, then checked again. "I'm so sorry," she said. "I can't find any ongoing order for that." I just stood there, my breathing heavy, feeling like the world was about to collapse. I didn't know what to say. She told me she'd keep looking, promised she'd call if she found anything. I thanked her and walked out feeling like the world had tilted a little. When I got home, I pulled out the old storage boxes from the closet, the ones with Michael's notebooks and folders and scraps of his writing. I didn't even know what I was looking for exactly, just something. And then I found it, tucked in an envelope that said, "To be opened when the roses stop." I froze when I saw the handwriting. It was his. I sat on the floor and opened it right there. The letter said, "If you're reading this, it's been a decade since. The white roses weren't meant to be forever, my love. They were here for you to grieve, not for you to be tethered to a ghost. Please, stand again without me." When I first read that letter, I felt broken. My tears streamed like a river. I pressed it to my chest and sobbed, and spent that evening slow dancing in our kitchen to our favorite songs. The next day, I went back to the flower shop. I needed to know if Michael really meant to cut it off. Sophia pulled out an old paper order form from a dusty filing cabinet she found. She showed me the note at the bottom in his handwriting. 10 years, no more. She'll understand why. And then it hit me. At the end of the letter, he wrote, "When the last petal falls, please remember that I wanted you to bloom again." Right there, in the middle of the flower shop, I broke. It was my second time in the last 2 days crying until breathless. I leaned against the counter and just let it out. Sophia held my hand, and the only other customer just stared, but I didn't care. All I could think about was how it was time to find happiness again.